Hey guys, it's Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about just a few terms that I don't like, specifically why I don't like the term differently abled. So I talk a lot about blindness on this channel, as you may or may not know. If you don't, hi, I'm Gabby. Welcome to my channel. I'm blind. Because blindness is what I know. I'm part of a community where a lot of people are very passionate about keeping the conversation going and talking about the lack of accessibility in companies, businesses, and just in the world itself, and just about people, and how a lot of people are very close-minded and don't know how to properly, have discussions and approach people with disabilities in a respectful, appropriate way. So I have a lot of friends in the blind community. I made a lot more friends during this quarantine. Hey, you guys, you know who I'm talking about. You guys are really awesome, and I'm so happy I was able to connect with you this, whatever you want to call it, this quarantine, these past few months, because we've had some really good conversations. We've talked a lot about just like things that are important to us, regardless of if it's blindness or anything. So I'm grateful for those friendships that I've made and those connections, and of course with my other friends who I knew before. But a lot of us, especially me, on Twitter is where I go to rant a lot of the time, just because it's such a, it's so easy. And since a lot of my friends are there, I mean, I have them all on Instagram and Facebook too, but it's just an easier way to be able to say, this person made me mad and I didn't agree with this, and yada yada yada. And we've had so many rants going on Twitter. I can't tell you how many tweets I've been mentioned in that, we just constantly are debating over certain topics, and it's never to be oh, blah blah blah, look at them, they're bragging. They're not bragging, they're all complaining again. But it's not to complain, it's just because we are very passionate people. We like to talk about these things and make sure that the world knows, hey, this made me upset. Anyways, so the other day I tweeted something and I said, I really hate the term differently abled, and I got a lot of responses because people were like, me too. And for me, I don't like the fact that people use that term when talking about people with disabilities, regardless of if it's blindness or any other disability that somebody else may have. So I really don't like the term, because when you say that somebody's differently abled, you're making them seem like, one, they're not normal, two, they're not capable of doing anything like anybody else, and three, you're just making them feel discouraged. I don't have any experiences with anybody saying that to me. Maybe they've said it to about me without me knowing. I don't know. But I know that there are people who may have experienced it, and I'm sure they have a lot of stories about just what it made them feel, and who, just the story behind it. But there's just a lot of terms that I don't agree with, that being a big one, because as somebody who you may or may not know, I am very independent. I'm very, very passionate about so many things, not just about talking about blindness, but I love trying new things. I'm very adventurous. I love to, just dip my toes in the water and see what other things are available. And for me, I'm a normal person, regardless if people see it or not. I like to hang out with friends. I like to, do all that stuff. Like I said, I'm very adventurous. I can't speak today. I think it's this coffee. It's making me very hyper and I don't know, at the same time. Anyways, so I feel very passionate about a lot. I'm also the type of person who is just, you know, I do everything that my sighted peers do. There are a lot of things I can't do, one of them being that I can't drive. And it's just, I see a lot of the reasons why people feel offended by this, and they have every right to be, because when you are telling somebody that they're differently abled, you're saying, oh, you are not capable. You are different from somebody else. And yes, we may be different only because we have a disability. That's the only reason. There's nothing else that makes us different other than we have a disability. And the fact that, yes, we have a disability, but we still, there's still things that we may take a little bit more time learning, just because for us it's not as easy to just pick up something and learn it on right away. And I don't think that people who, there's a lot of people in the sighted world who are very close-minded and don't want to have these conversations and don't want to learn about these types of things. And the more that you make these assumptions about people, like I said, the more you appear to be close-minded. And I think a lot of the sighted people, whether you're subscribed to me or not and you've interacted with me, maybe you don't want to admit it, but a lot of people that I'm around and people that I have, connected with, or just sighted people in general, why? My question to you is why? Why don't you want to know about the people who are in these communities? Why aren't you curious to be like, oh, okay, let me learn about this? Everybody's staying so up to date on everything else, right? And I think that a lot of the time, sighted people don't want to have conversations. They don't want to learn about the struggles or, the good things. They don't want to learn about the people. I've met a lot of sighted people who are very, very, very passionate about these types of things. And a lot of the time, they tell me there are people who are very close-minded, and those close-minded people are the ones who are saying that people like me and people in other communities with other physical disabilities are the ones who are differently abled. Differently abled. Listen to that word, repeat it in your head, and think about what that means. Because once you say that to somebody, you don't even know the impact that your words have had on them. And I think that's how society is a lot of the time. When we say things, we don't think about how is this going to affect that person? What is going through their mind right now? Because if I said to you, hey, oh, you're differently abled, okay. In your mind, you've already got a 1,000 thoughts running through your head. You're just like, okay, what is that? Why would they say that to me? I'm a normal person. I just have a disability. I do everything they can do. And a lot of the time I get into arguments with people on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, then you may have seen a few of my arguments and my rants. But if you don't, I will link it in the description box down below, along with my Instagram. But I'm somebody who really believes that there are people in this community who want to see changes. They want people to know that, we may be blind. Yes, we may take a little bit more time learning and adjusting to something. But no, we are not differently abled. We are far from that. We are very capable people, independent people, smart, talented people. And I'm not gonna lie, there are blind people in this community who feel as though they are very entitled. And there are some who would like for you to baby them, who are okay with you pitying them. That's probably Twitter going off right now. But there is a lot of people in this community who are like that. But the people that I know are nothing like that, because those people understand that there are struggles when it comes to certain things. They understand that if you really are passionate about something and you want to see a change, you have to work for it. I'm probably getting off topic, but the point of this was just to say that think before you speak. Weren't we all raised to say that, to like keep that in the back of our mind? Think before you speak. And to the people who have said that people in these communities are differently abled, you're just making your own assumptions, and you're a closed-minded person who has no care in the world about learning about people in communities like mine. And the reason I made this channel is because, yeah, I want to rant about things that get me mad that happen to the blind community, but I also really want to show people, like, you're wrong. All those assumptions you've made are wrong. Because you know what they say, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And yeah, that's what some people do. Assume, judge, before even getting to know somebody, before even getting to understand why, things happen and why we are so passionate about these sorts of things and why these conversations are happening. It's like, don't be that closed-minded person, please. If you have a blind friend, if you know somebody who's blind, if you've ever interacted with a blind person, shoot, if you ever interacted with me in person and you still have questions, even if you've watched my YouTube channel, ask questions. That is a big thing for me. I'm using my hands a lot. Ask questions, because the more that you ask questions, I and other blind people would rather answer your questions instead of you going out into the world and making these assumptions about us. So ask questions, whether it's to me or to your blind friend or whoever. Google it. Do what you need to do. But don't just rely on whatever, pre-assumption you've already made in your mind, because a good chunk of the time, your assumption is wrong. I really hope that I have been able to really help sighted people see the wrong that a lot of them do. I'm not saying that, all of you are wrong, because I do believe that a lot of people who are sighted that I have connected with and who I'm friends with understand that these things are not easy for me and the blind community. But I really hope that, the people, my sighted subscribers and my sighted viewers, I really hope that I have been able to show you why this channel means so much to me, and show you just the reasons why I am so outspoken about so many things. Because it's not about helping my friends. That's a good chunk of the reason why, because once they get started on something, then I jump in. But it's also because I get it, and it's wrong. And I want you guys to, especially my sighted viewers and my sighted friends and subscribers, share my blind videos with your friends or whoever, and explain to them, yeah, she may only be one person in the blind community, and I'm not like a lot of YouTubers that say that they're speaking out for everybody in the community, because that's not me. I don't say, yeah, I may talk about things in the blind community, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the only person that can help you understand something, because I'm not. I know so many YouTubers who are so overlooked. People I've connected with these past few months who I have subscribed to, who are amazing people. They have great personalities, they're good friends, they have great channels, and they're very, very smart, reliable people, and they're fun people. But a lot of the time, we only try to rely on one person or one thing to help us understand something. So I'm asking you, go check out other YouTubers. Look online for things. Ask your friends. Ask me questions. Do your research before you make assumptions and before you start using these terms like differently abled and all these other things. Because you may only get my perspective, but again, that's my perspective. There's thousands of other perspectives. There's thousands of other people who you can look at to help guide you and help you understand why blind people are just as normal as sighted people. And why we can help you understand that, yeah, some things you do are very close-minded and you make way too many assumptions and you judge way too much. A lot of us, like I said, don't like to be pitied and babied. We don't like to have to rely on people 24/7. And that's not to say we're not going to ever need help, because yeah, we do need help sometimes. And again, saying that somebody needs help does not mean that they are differently abled or that they're not capable of doing something. It just means, okay, this is a little bit harder. Maybe they need to take a little bit more time to understand it and adjust to it, especially if it's something new. So please, that's all I ask of you guys, is to do your research. Think about these things before you say them out loud to people. Work with the people around you to help them understand that they cannot keep thinking this way. Because society is already very close-minded with a lot of things. So, that's all I ask of you guys. I will link my social media down below so you can check it out. It's also linked to my channel. I will link the video I did where I talked about just like, well, I'll link my blindness playlist down below, and I will link some of the YouTubers who I have subscribed to for you guys to check them out and see how amazing they are, because to the people who I have subscribed to my friends, thank you. And I stand with you and I support you, and yeah, so that was just a big rant about a lot of things in the blind community, especially the term differently abled. I mean, it all kind of like just clumps together. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.